everyone, 'tis I, Captain Logan, and welcome back to the Captain Logan Show. And look, a wild Eric appears. Hello,
Hi.
Eric. How you doing, man?
I'm doing all right.
Welcome to my show. It's a lot like other shows we do, except without Eric. But today, there's Eric.
Yep.
So, thanks for being here, buddy. It's good to see you. Eric lives here, but I'm doing the, talk show hosting. It's so nice to see you.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot for being here, Eric. Instead of doing what you would usually be doing on Wednesday, because that got canceled. So Eric is here, and we are gonna chat with you guys for the next hour about whatever you guys want to talk about. Usually, I'm seeing amusing comments about you in the live chat here. Jacob May, is this an Eric Holden theme show? Yes, basically it is. Somebody else calls you Sexy Eric, so there's that. Blue Dragon 5, I almost forgot what he looked like. As you might have noticed already, there is no Danny Nixon this evening. This was a little bit too late for him. We had to start late because Eric gets off work late, so, but he was like, hey, I could be on the show tonight. I was like, well, I'll back it off an hour. So unfortunately, no Danny tonight, and that means that I'm kind of flying by the seat of my pants a little bit. I do have two of us, but I'm not going to make Eric moderate. I'll do that. So I'm going to be moderating the show and hosting the show. You guys, so everybody bear with me a little bit doing that, but at least I have somebody else to talk to. At least it's not going to be...
The sun is right next to you.
I know. It's just like, it's brightly illuminated. It's it's not the best lighting I've ever had, certainly, but anyway, it's brilliant is what I was going to say. So anyway, already seeing some super chats. We'll get to those here in a second. Danny will be back with us next week. I was already having people asking if this is what the show is going to be like from now on. No, this is kind of a special thing we're doing. Next week we'll be back to 9 o'clock Central Time, and we'll have Danny here, and we're going to do the Superman theme show that I announced yesterday next week. Originally we were going to do that today, but changed things around for Eric. So anyway, let's go ahead and jump straight into it, shall we? We've got a whole bunch of questions already. Anytime during the show, if you guys have something you'd like to ask me and Eric, no, Kevin Spacey. Eric is not replacing Danny. And no, he's not related to Paul Dini. As far as I know, I don't think Eric's related to Paul Dini.
You don't think I'm related to Paul Dini?
It's a question. Somebody just asked it.
Weird.
So we'll consider that our first official question of the evening. So yeah, anytime during the show, you guys feel free to ask a question to Eric, myself, or Eric and myself. Like I said, already have quite a few things in here. If I miss anything, I apologize. That's bound to happen, but I'll make sure and check the comments as we're going, and especially if Eric ends up answering anything without me. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. Ross Hitchcock gives us a $14.99 super chat. Thanks a bunch, man, for supporting us. We really appreciate that. He says, hey, Eric, I've been watching yours and Cap's channels since 2009 or 2010 when I was in 7th grade. Anyway, I was wondering what your guys' opinions on T6 are and what your predictions are. Thanks a bunch for sticking with us for so long. That's absolutely fantastic. We so appreciate it. And Eric, watching both of us that long still remains surreal that we've been doing this for as long as we have.
Yeah.
And how many people I hear from all the time that are like, yeah, I've been with you since 2009. And I'm like, I feel like an old person. It's nuts. 10th anniversary of the channel next year. Eric, T6.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I've looked at quite a few interviews with James Cameron and the director who is the Deadpool guy.
Pardon me.
He directed the first Deadpool. It sounds exciting. It sounds really
I didn't know
cool.
he was involved. That's cool.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
I like James Cameron. His last two films withstanding. Or
notwithstanding?
Yeah. His last two films notwithstanding. I like
that.
James
Would mean
Cameron.
You loved his last two films.
And he's not writing this. He's just involved, and I think he's a good idea guy. We've gotten a couple pictures. I think the pictures look really good.
Would you be nervous if he was directing it? No?
No.
Okay.
No, because it's R-rated.
Well, sure. It's just, kind of past your prime directors going back to old stuff. Like sometimes it doesn't work out.
Yeah, that's fair.
Obviously a lot of people didn't like Alien Covenant and stuff like that. So
that's true. No, I'm really excited. I think all the pictures look great. It's real dirty and grimy and looks like Terminator and Terminator 2. So no, I'm excited. I'm really excited.
I want to be excited about that. It looks like another we've talked about this a lot lately, but it looks like another return to form movie where we're forgetting all the stuff that didn't work.
That's the new trend, right? Is especially with the R-rated franchises. We're going to make an R-rated one because the new RoboCop's going to be R-rated,
and is forgetting everything but one.
Yep.
I don't think 2 is in that continuity either.
No, I wouldn't think so.
Yeah, especially because it's based on a script that was supposed to be RoboCop 2. So it would be weird if RoboCop 2 was in there, right?
Yeah.
The big question I keep having about projects like that is you make that one movie and it might be absolutely fantastic, like the new Halloween movie. But I mean, we haven't seen that yet. I'm just saying, it looks good. It looks like it could be fantastic. You watch that and it ends up being great. Is there often anywhere to go from there?
Well,
that ends up being the big question.
They said that they have a trilogy planned, which will be the third Transformers film, the third Terminator film in a row. That's the first in a trilogy. But James Cameron, and he's like this with the Avatar sequels too. Like everyone makes fun of him for the Avatar sequels. He's real out there with just look. I understand that if this movie isn't good and doesn't do well, there will not be another 2 films.
Sure, but then my worry is it does great, and then you end on a crappy note. Then the next one sucks, and I'm just saying that a lot of the time, what makes it worth doing these things is that return to form and getting back to what made it great in the first place, and maybe adding something wonderful to it and proving that a really good sequel really could be made for this thing. Or obviously with Terminator, we had at least one really good sequel, but another one really could be made and is worth doing that. But that doesn't always mean that there's a franchise in it.
No, but if you start from a place of these are the places we can go.
Yeah, that's true. It's just my worry, I don't know if I would want to see another Blade Runner right away, for instance.
No, and specifically with that one, I don't.
Yeah. If that's the last thing we get, we might be glad about it. I mean, I guess you wouldn't know unless you saw the alternate history where there was the really crappy, sequel right past that. But I'm just saying that, sometimes I'll see a wonderful movie and then I'll see the next one and it's awful and I'll go, well, see, that should have been what we ended it with. If only Days of Future Past could have finished off the Fox X-Men. If only. I mean, Logan's great, but it's almost another thing. It's not, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But just the X-Men movies, that continuity. If only, I mean, it would have been a wonderful send-off. And there've been, I don't know, there've been a few things like that where I'm like, this is a really good send-off. I wish we could stop there.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
And so I don't know. That's the thing. I'm not worried about T6. I'm kind of worried about what we do after it.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
But anyway, I'm with you. I'm excited about that. Okay, we've got some more super chats before we get moving. Somebody was like, I thought Alien Covenant was Ridley Scott. I know that. My point was just that
it's a director coming back.
It's a director coming back a long time later, and people not feeling like he's past his prime and he's not doing what he was, great at.
Well, and he didn't seem like he wanted to be making alien movies.
Sure.
He did a prequel where he was like, I think the franchise has moved past the alien. Well, then set in the future. Don't go backwards.
I don't mean to say that longtime directors that are, 20, 30 years out from the original are never the right person to come back for a thing. But I also think it's important to not immediately assume that a name that once meant a particular thing still means that thing.
I think it helps a lot
that's been true of George Lucas. It's been true of Steven Spielberg before.
I think it helps a lot when they're not making it, but they're involved.
Yeah,
because the movies I can think of, Blade Runner, Ridley Scott was involved.
We're doing this with Halloween.
John Carpenter's involved, and Terminator, Cameron's involved. But he's not. None of these people.
They're not actually making those movies.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But that's why I mentioned that where it's like, well, it's probably good that he's not actually directing it.
Yeah. I mean, I would love a return to form for James Cameron, because I miss him.
But I wouldn't assume if John Carpenter was directing the new Halloween, it would be good because
his last movie, which I still haven't seen, it's called The Ward. It apparently is not good.
Well, he was heavily involved with 2, and a lot of people don't like 2.
That's true, but 2 feels phoned in.
Yeah, yeah. Would he come back 40 years later if he was just gonna phone it in?
Yeah, it feels like
that's true. Why would you even do it?
He didn't want to make that movie, but
John Early, $10 super chat. Thanks a lot, buddy. We really, really appreciate it. Is it frustrating how much failures like Batman and Robin, Catwoman, and Green Lantern set back the comic book film genre because there's still people like Ethan Hawke who equate those with the others?
No. I mean, the thing about Batman and Robin, everyone's like, oh, it ruined comic book movies. For a year. Blade is the next year.
Mm-hmm.
And Catwoman and Green Lantern.
And we have X-Men very quickly. Spider-Man's in 2002. Like it set back Batman.
Yeah.
But not really the superhero film.
But we also wouldn't have gotten Batman Begins if that hadn't happened.
And also, I would make the argument going back to that time period, Batman Forever was a huge movie that didn't really do anything for comic book movies as a genre.
Yeah.
Right? Like if Batman and Robin, I mean, I say that there were only 2 years in between them, but if Batman and Robin hadn't been made or they took their time with it and it was a different thing, I don't know if Batman as a franchise is continuing to spearhead what turns into the onslaught of superhero movies. Like if Batman Begins never gets made and we have like 8 or 10 movies in that Batman franchise, or it gets like 007 where they all sort of kind of count, honestly, I think maybe that might have set us back a little bit.
Well, and I don't know what specifically he's talking about with Ethan Hawke, but Ethan Hawke was in talks to do Doctor Strange. Like, he's not above that. I'm pretty sure Ethan Hawke was the guy who was going to play Doctor Strange.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it was Ethan Hawke.
That is.
I was like, that's an interesting choice. I like that.
That is not a thing.
It's the most obvious choice in the world.
It's not a thing I had heard before. But I think it's also easy for folks that are, not watching all these movies all the time, like we are, of course, to be kind of out of the loop and to go to the obvious go-tos for this is a great superhero movie, this is a bad superhero movie. Like,
well, and everybody has their own standards and things that they like, right? Like, if you're not into that,
it's still even to this day in vogue to say Batman and Robin sucks and to make fun of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But if you're not into that thing, if you don't like superhero movies, it's really easy to dismiss all of them. Lots of people do that with horror movies. Lots of people do that with science fiction movies.
Mm-hmm.
So I think almost all romantic comedies. You and I both dismiss majority of romantic comedies.
And when was the last time you didn't go to one in the theater because you were like, who cares? And somebody was like, this is amazing, you have to see it.
Yeah.
When was the last time that happened?
Yeah.
Now, you are, I think, pretty out of touch, and I don't mean to sound like snotty when I say this, but if somebody like that is equating all superhero movies with Batman and Robin, that's a little out of touch after things like Black Panther and Winter Soldier and Dark Knight, et cetera, et cetera. Like, I don't really know how that happens, but I also think
it's weird if he brought those up specifically, because it's one thing if somebody's like, yeah, most of the Marvel movies are kind of exactly the same and they're kind of, just okay. Like, that's fine. I get that. I get that point of view.
But some of this is 20, 25 years old now.
Yeah. But I don't know what the quote is exactly.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, I don't know. Like, I think because all of those examples are older things. When you look at, even Green Lantern was 7 or 8 years ago now. When you look at how much of Hollywood's take it is and how great superhero movies are doing now, those things, with the reputation they have, obviously aren't killing the genre. They just at the time hurt certain characters that maybe are still being hurt by it. So obviously Batman and Robin doesn't matter anymore. The BVS, I would argue, is kind of the new Batman and Robin. For Batman, right? Where people are not immediately sure a Batman movie is going to be great, or they're not going to go just because Batman's in it. Justice League, people didn't care just because Batman was in it. They expected that to suck, right? And if you rebooted and did a brand new character right now, I don't know if Batman has the kind of popularity, still popular, but the flavor, the kind of popularity it had after Dark Knight, where people are like, oh, I have to go see the next Batman movie. Green Lantern is hurt until a good Green Lantern thing comes out.
Yeah.
Let's check out some more super chats. Super Nerd, $2 super chat. Thanks, buddy. Considering a top 10 Powerpuff Girls reissue, no, I kind of feel like that list would be about the same. I'm not sure I would go back to that. And I don't like the new show. I don't think I would feel the need to do a top 10 of that at any point. It's still on, if I did, I'd have to wait on it, but I wouldn't really want to do that. But no, I'm trying to think if there's anything, and I've only done a few of the top 10s anyway. So like, it would be ridiculous for me to do a reissue until I did certain other things, because like I still haven't done any of the rest of DCAU besides the 2 Batman shows. I say the 2 Batman shows. I've not done New Adventures, and I left it off when I did.
You left it off?
I left it off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so...
that's weird, because New Adventures, like, if you did New Adventures, it's only like a 20-episode season. Like, that's half the season.
It is, but I don't think of it as the same show. Like, it is... I mean, it's an extension of that show, but the flavor is different. It was aimed at a younger audience. Like, when I made that list, I felt kind of weird about including any of that. And I felt like I wouldn't be playing fair with it because I don't like it as well as Batman Animated Series. So,
which I don't agree with. I also think it's weird.
No, that's fair, but I'm just saying there would have been maybe a token episode from it. And the thing is, I wanted to take it on its own terms and do a show on it yet. Was always my plan, which I've not gotten around to doing. But anyway,
well, and it's interesting because they were told to make it like geared towards a younger audience. It's not. It has the majority of the episodes that people bring up are like, these are so dark. They're all from that.
Yeah, no, I know that.
That Clayface episode is haunted.
But for every one of those, there's a really cutesy episode they wouldn't have made before that. Yeah. And so I don't know. I mean, like most of that show I think is kind of mediocre. There were a few token like really good episodes. And I just don't like the designs. I just don't like what it looks like.
I mean, I like George's design, but they finally got Scarecrow right.
Yeah, I mean, individually, there's a couple that are really cool. Just overall, I just don't care for the aesthetic of that show.
That's fair.
Compared to what they had before. But anyway, there's another super chat, Mr. Roboto, $2 super chat. Thank you, Captain Logan. Hopes for the Aquaman film also high. Hi. So, what are our hopes for the Aquaman film?
Hopes isn't like things we want in it?
Yeah, or just what we're hoping it to be, flavor-wise, story-wise, I don't know.
They said...
Just what do we hope
that
for?
They were looking at things like Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Interesting.
I hope it's like Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah, like, I don't immediately have hopes for it. I saw the trailer and was like, that's exactly what I wanted it to look like. I'm very excited about it. I'm having a hard time. And early reviews have been like, it's fine. It's not going to like change hearts and minds or anything. When I say early reviews, I mean the screeners. I saw something on that the other day, which I don't usually look at, but I saw it looking at stuff and on Twitter, and it's like, couldn't unsee it.
I'm hoping it's good.
But yeah, certainly. What I think it's liable to do, I guess if I have to throw something out there, I'll say this. I hope it cleans Marvel's clock with this is what Thor should have been like.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, obviously it's a different thing, but with the regal stuff and with the fantasy elements, like they're not scared of monsters and stuff. Reportedly, the director of that movie had to ask permission to use monsters, and Warner's actually let him do it, which was nice.
Interesting.
But that's kind of, I mean, I can kind of see that given what they were trying to build for their shared universe before that, where like, well, we had a monster, but he was genetically engineered. You know what I mean? Like, can you have those kinds of fantasy elements in a world that initially looked like it was a little bit not grounded, but not as heightened as magic? And I'm glad that they're. But then that's dumb because Wonder Woman.
Yeah. Yeah.
And also Enchantress. What am I talking about? Like the third movie, they went to the magic place.
Yeah.
So actually, now that I'm talking about that, I don't know why he had to ask permission for that. And then Shazam, like, why did he have to ask permission for monsters? Anyway, he did, and they let him do it, so that's a good thing.
No, whatever. My biggest hope, would have been for Black Manta, and like to look as good as he does. Like,
yeah,
he looks great,
and he looks great, and I'm excited about it. I have a couple fears here and there. I think it could be too many characters.
Yeah.
I think it could be chock full of people that I want to have more screen time. Because it could have that Green Lantern thing again, right? Where it's like, here's all these characters that you always wanted to see, and then they're there for 3 minutes. But
yeah, that's true.
The difference is this movie visually looks cool.
Yeah.
And Green Lantern, everybody saw the trailer and was like, oh my God, that's what you did with this? And Aquaman, I'm not having that. I don't know that anybody else is either. Oh, somebody wants to know if you think, Eric, that, what was it? Sorry, I just saw an interesting question, and then a bunch of people started posting things. Hold on. What was it? Okay, there's a whole bunch of super chats, and we're going to have to answer them kind of speedily. Hold on. Oh my goodness, that's crazy. Yeah, somebody was asking if you thought something would bomb. Avatar 2. Do you think Avatar 2 will bomb?
I can't begin to make a prediction on Avatar because the first one doesn't make sense, and because I don't know if you know this, Avatar doesn't like open huge. Avatar steadily makes money. Like people like
did it not have a giant opening weekend?
No.
Oh, I didn't realize
that is a word of mouth movie. I can't begin to. Avatar's weird because I don't feel like people talk about when it comes up. I feel like most people are like, oh yeah, I like Avatar. It's the strangest like cultural touchstone that doesn't seem to actually work like a cultural touchstone.
Yeah.
I'm interested.
That should give them pause about whether a sequel will do giant guns. I would think, especially because it's been so long. Where like it was a phenomenon, but if it was a slow build phenomenon,
yeah. No, I'm interested. James Cameron's kind of come out and said like, yeah, I made that first movie so I could make sure my special effects were good. This is the movie I really want to make.
I hope he wins me over on
setting.
It because I don't like that movie. I've always thought about that, and I only saw it once, but I have no interest in seeing that again. I just did not care for it, and I didn't understand the mad love people had for it. Like, no disrespect to anybody, but yeah, which I can't see. So I'm a handicapped person, okay? But anyway,
it is beautiful.
We've talked about this before. Yeah, and there was that whole thing where it's like you've not seen this movie unless you've seen it in 3D. Well, I'm sorry. I guess I don't get to see it. I guess I didn't see it. But I don't know. It's a thing where there was that huge cult following for it, but are they still huge into it like they were?
Killing themselves because that world doesn't actually exist.
Yeah, but the thing is, there's a million other things vying for our attention since then. And what's really interesting is that comes out shortly before the giant like Netflix streaming phenomenon and the like renaissance of television and just all of these new fandoms. And we've talked about this a lot, where you have so many fandoms vying for people's attention now that I'm not sure that there are a lot of people that are mega fans of one thing that like they used to be. I think most people have the several things that they look at, and I don't know if people on the whole are immersed and like crazy huge into things like they once were. We binge now. And that's kind of pre-binge. So when we binge now, we'll be really into a thing for a few weeks while it's on, and then we move on to something else, and then we move on to something else. And in that climate, and I know we're not talking about a TV show, but in that climate, I don't know if Avatar ends up like continues to be as giant of a thing as it was.
I mean, I think it has potential to do big guns because everyone's going to go see it in 3D. So it's already an extra $5 to see that movie. Like, I think it could do really well.
I would have given anything for 3D to have gone away before it came out.
It doesn't matter because it would have been put out in 3D. Because James Cameron is making these movies in 3D. He believes 3D is the best way to make these movies.
No, I know that, but the point I'm making is that I've been
there was no 3D. There weren't really 3D movies when Avatar came out.
No, there were, but there weren't a ton yet.
Not like that. He set that trend. And like this movie will always.
He made it popular. I think I think it was like 2 or 3 years before that most movie theaters were starting to carry that.
I mean, there was like a couple, like Journey to the Center of the Earth got released in 3D, but like that's still like the doofy like, oh, I'm coming at you. Like, yeah. We've always occasionally done 3D with Spy Kids.
No, but you already have 3D theaters by then.
Do you?
Yeah, and the point I'm making is you have to have a 3D movie theater for those things to work, like your theater has to be calibrated for it. Mm-hmm. And the point I'm making is I've been hearing a lot of people lately saying, why do we even have 3D anymore? Like nobody talks about it. Nobody cares. My point is, it would have been really funny if he'd waited long enough where theaters decided to stop carrying 3D, and then he put it out, and they either would have to do it or not do it. It would have been really funny to me if there were certain theaters where you couldn't see it that way. That would have cracked it. That's the point I'm trying to make. That would have cracked me up.
Yeah.
I would have just lost it at that. Jacob May, $2 super chat. Thoughts on Deadpool 2 Super Duper Cut? I bought it. I've not had a chance to watch it yet.
I've heard that they put in the ending scene that Ryan Reynolds said they weren't allowed to do.
Oh,
so really? I'm really excited about that.
That's cool.
That's the only thing I've heard about it.
I'm going to try to watch it before Sunday when we do the omnibus. Eric and I have so many things to talk about now. For that show, though, I may wait and do the show after that so that I have time to talk about it if there's anything worth talking about it. What I've heard about it from people, and I mean, like, this is not my review because I've not watched it yet, so I don't know. But what folks have told me is that it has a lot, is that it's mostly new action and then a lot of alternate jokes, most of which I've been told are not as funny as in the theater. But I guess I'll find out when I watch it.
I often feel like that, like Daredevil director's cut's better. I like a lot of Foggy's lines from the theatrical cut because almost all of Foggy's lines are alternate cut or alternate takes.
Yeah. Well, and then they have just some like extended bits that they really didn't need to extend. Yeah. Because those guys were doing a lot of improvisation, and so they would just take a lot more of the improv they did in a scene and throw it in the director's cut. And you're like, okay, this is kind of funny, but it just didn't need to go on this long. And that's when you're like, oh, yes, I can tell you're friends with Kevin Smith. Magpie, $3 super chat. Thanks. Can you bring back Let's Do It Again? Eric?
Probably not.
Yeah, at this point?
No, it's just, it's all communication issues with Matt and things like that.
Yeah.
I know he wants to. Like, I could theoretically, possibly, but we tried. He couldn't get, like, his computer to work with like Skype or something. Like, it was a whole thing.
I mean, this has been a while back. So
that's true. It was like 2 years ago.
He might be in better shape technologically at this point, but
possibly. I wouldn't think so.
You could talk to him. Well, I mean, find out what kind of phone he has, because you know, if you're using equipment that's decent, he might be able to just audio Skype over. Yeah, because you guys were just using audio anyway.
Yeah.
So he might be able to just call you.
Yeah.
See if he can do it with his phone.
Yeah, that might work.
I mean, if he has a decent phone, he can just put Skype on it.
I'm not promising anything, but possibly.
Yeah. I would love to see you guys bring that back.
Yeah.
I kind of hated that because people really liked it. That show was popular. It was really fun. I enjoyed the one time I got to be on it. I still never got to do it with Matt. I have met Matt in person one time now, so that's cool. But I didn't even talk to Matt before I went to Florida and met him in person. But no, you guys had a really good rapport, and that was a really creative, clever show. So I like that was kind of the one thing I regretted about your moving here is that we lost that show. But so hopefully down the line. Jeffrey Patron, $2 super chat. Band idea, they might be mountain goats. All three Johns. That's hilarious. Mr. Roboto, $2 super chat. Does the Fast and the Furious count as superhero? I would say no.
No.
The decisive no. I think it's really easy with action movies to look at the kind of standard action formula, and because that applies so much to superhero movies, it's easy to say, well, they must all be superhero things because that's the superhero movie formula. But remember, the superhero movie formula starts with the 80s action movie formula, I would say.
Yeah, yeah. No, they're not wearing costumes. They're not. I mean, I guess they're fighting crime, but like what I know of the Fast and Furious movies is a lot of that is like government, like leverage, and like it's close to like Escape from New York or something like that, where it's like we'll pardon you for your crimes if you help us take down this, whatever. And this person with that controls all the cars and can shoot them at you.
I don't mean to say that. Sorry, you distracted me when you said that. I don't mean to say the Fast and the Furious movies are really comic book movies either, but it's also important to look at the difference between a movie that plays like a comic book and a movie that is a superhero thing, right?
So John Wick is a comic book.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Yeah, John Wick is a comic book thing. It wasn't based on a comic book, but they were trying to create a comic book on screen in a lot of ways, and not like a super heightened old school comic, like a modern indie comic.
But it's not a superhero movie.
Yeah. So like comic book has really permeated. Yeah. Like if you could look at comic book as a genre over superhero, there are a lot of things that almost fall into that category, except for the fact that they're not actually based on one.
Like that Barnacle movie we watched.
Yes, that's the comic book movie through and through.
Yeah.
And has superhero elements, but it's not a superhero thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I know the difference. I did Sin City on Superhero Rewind because I was looking at it like a superhero movie. I realized it's not one. It's just it has so much in common. It was easy to review it that way. But I would probably never do anything like that again. Which is funny because there is a second Sin City movie, and I won't review it on Rewind, even though I did the first one that way. But I digress. But yeah, that's a question I get a lot, Eric. Just different things that that don't squarely fall in the superhero category.
We've talked about the Matrix thing. People like is Neo a superhero?
That one's closer, but it's closer.
My go-to is always, well, Luke Skywalker's not a hero, or is not a superhero. Wait, Yeah, in Last Jedi, he's not a hero. But in
you're right. He has Neo has a lot more in common with Star Wars type heroes than he does with a superhero.
Because I mean that first movie is the hero myth.
Well, it's not just that it's the hero myth; it's also the fact that the Matrix functions like the Force, and I mean, like that universe has a lot in common with Star Wars and with things like that. Where there's a source for his power that's connected to the world. You know, it's not like a thing happens to him when he gets powers.
And sometimes outside of that world.
I mean, there are maybe other superheroes that you could point to that also sort of have that, but generally speaking, the superhero isn't like a chosen one type.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they sort of can be. I guess you could almost even put Spider-Man in that box to some degree with the power responsibility thing, where it's like, well, your destiny is to be heroic because if you don't, you can't sleep at night. So, like in a way, it's got.
Well, that's not destiny. I mean, J. Michael Straczynski would inject actual destiny stuff.
No, that's
into that,
no, that's absolutely true. Yeah. Well, it's not predestination.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there's a whole interesting argument to be had about what destiny is and whether it's a psychological thing or whether it's the world, like, you know, impacting on you.
But we've talked about this before. I think maybe even on camera. But like, there are superhero things that are not superhero things. The Hulk is not a superhero.
Yeah, a lot of things. The Punisher's not a superhero. We have to, and a lot of Marvel things.
But they just happen to exist in the world of superheroes, so we go, yes.
They get lumped in, yeah, but they don't actually count at all.
Yeah.
Spawn's not, but sometimes can be.
I like Spawn when he's a superhero.
Yeah, you too.
I
Theoretically.
Yeah. Yeah, theoretically.
Super Nerd with another $2 super chat, thanks, says your original top 10 was boycotted, re-upload. I don't think he means boycotted. I think he means it was just flagged and pulled down. I guess
so
that's what he's talking about.
Reissue, he means re-upload.
Put it back up. Okay, I thought you meant. You know what? And I'm sorry. We went on a whole diatribe about that, and I'm not even thinking about the terminology I was using. I was re-uploading. I haven't done this in a while. I was re-uploading some old rewinds that couldn't be viewed and calling them reissues. And that's why I forgot all about that. Okay. I quit doing that because I thought all of the ones that were blacked out that people couldn't watch were up now, but apparently not. So I'll go back and look and see which ones have been blocked now. Because things are always randomly getting flagged and YouTube's cracking down on different things. So if I don't periodically look at it, which I've not done in a while, there will be something else that still has pictures in it that I have to re-upload without pictures, which is, unfortunately, folks, if you haven't heard this spiel yet, the reason that I can't post rewinds anymore with pictures, because you might not be able to see them. And even if you can watch them this week, you might not be able to watch them next week. Okay. So we are half an hour in and all we've done are super chats. So thanks everybody for all the super chats. We really appreciate it. Looks like we're almost caught up. Oh my goodness.
Wow, there's so many.
I thought we were almost caught up, but there's a bunch more. So I apologize if we don't get to anybody's regular questions this show, but we just have a bunch of super chats. You guys are all absolutely wonderful. Eric, I'm seeing at least 7 or 8.
Wow.
Magpie, $2.99 super chat. Can you do a Let's Do It Again on Sequest DSV? So Eric just said we're not doing, or he and Matt anyway aren't doing Let's Do It Again right now, so that won't happen. No,
we generally didn't do TV shows. We did Kamen Rider once, but
they also have movies. Although I guess you did that as a season of television, though, didn't you?
Yeah, but it was as like a singular, like those, each series of that show is a singular piece.
I mean, it's your show. You can have exceptions to your rules, that's certainly. True. But yeah, Eric's never seen Sequest. It would not have ever occurred to him to do that.
No.
There is still talk of a Sequest month on the channel at some point.
Oh, like weekly
from
talk.
Adam. What's that?
I said like weekly talk. Like every time I see Adam.
Yeah, every time Adam's over, he's, and I don't think he's joking. I think he is like absolutely adamant that Sequest month ends up happening. And I know I brought this up before recently, but the really irritating thing about that is I can get my hands on 1 and 2, but 3 was never released. And so I don't know how we're going to do that, but maybe we'll just talk about the first 2 seasons. I don't know. And then, like, it's only month because of the April Fool's Day video. We actually did it. I don't know why it would be a month. That was just a joke. Like, why a month? When we just make a bunch of reviews ahead of time, be like, there's squarely 30 or 31 or 28, depending on the month. And then Do you do every episode, or do you just do 30 token episodes of a 3-season show that had 20-something episodes a season? I don't know what that is. Why are we still talking about this?
One of those days would be that comic you bought, the one issue of the Sequest comic.
Right. Mm-hmm. Sure, there's a lot to say about that. John Early, $10 super chat. Thanks, man. Does Rise of the Planet of the Apes, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, and War of the Planet of the Apes work as a trilogy? Because I imagine it was like the Dark Knight trilogy, a weak third film. Okay, so it's not as weak as Rises was to the other two.
No, I don't think so.
We'll get our opinions. We'll get that straight right away. I do think it is the weakest of the three, but they're very strong films, so that's not saying a lot.
I don't even know if it's weaker than Rise. It's just it has the unfortunate. It comes after Dawn, and
which is a near masterpiece.
See, the thing is, Dawn and Rise are so different from each other. War is more of Dawn, but not as good.
Yep, that's the thing.
So like, it might be better than Rise, but it's also not its own thing the way those are. I think it's a trilogy for Caesar. It's not a trilogy, and we don't ever need to make more of them. But there is the arc of Caesar.
I've been hearing that from a lot of people lately, where they're like, "Man, I hope they don't make any more." Maybe I'm off in left field on this.
Nova in that movie.
Maybe I'm off in left field on this. I don't feel that way. I need more.
Yeah,
I feel like that got us to a place, and that could get really interesting moving forward. I think it got us there too quickly. It's not really what I would have done with it.
Yeah,
but it doesn't leave me satisfied. Like I walked out of the theater going, okay, well, that wasn't as great as the first one. I like a lot of things about it, but it'll be nice to get past the war and get into the status quo of what this world is like, because the status quo of that world shouldn't be exactly like it was in Planet of the Apes, in exactly the same way as the origin's not the same. I mean, like, they won me over on doing a totally different kind of origin with that's saying a lot of the same things, but also saying some different things. I feel like you got to follow that through. And I feel like there is another trilogy to be made, if not just one or two more solid movies.
Yeah. No, I agree.
I also think it would.
And then they do Battle for then they do Beneath the Planet of the Apes, and everyone dies.
I also think, and then you don't make any more after that.
And then you have another kid, and you let them watch it.
There's a whole thing with Jason watching watching the second Planet of the Apes movie when he was like 3 and thinking it was the best thing ever. I left that movie. We're at a theater. I turned that movie off, just like completely devastated. And Jason just goes, "That was great." I was like, "This is the most depressing thing I've ever sat through." And Jason, "That was awesome, Dad." I didn't know how it ended. I didn't know anything about it. He brings it upstairs. I was like, "Jason, this is the mistake I made. Jason, go downstairs and get a movie. Just whatever you feel like watching." He brings that up. I was like, "All right, we'll put that in." And that's what we watched. If money were no object, Eric, what they set up at the end of War ought to be a TV show. If money were no object, I think it's better served as an ongoing series, but not possible.
Yeah,
on a regular basis. Kellen O'Rourke, $10 super chat. Thanks so much. Cap, what do you think the MCU would look like if Ed Norton had stayed on as Bruce Banner? That's a great question. Would the Incredible Hulk be better remembered if Mark Ruffalo was cast in the first place? If Mark Ruffalo was cast in the first place, that's a different movie, right? Like, that's not the casting choice you go with for the movie they made.
No,
he's not the personality type.
I think either way you slice it.
I'm not calling that a humorless movie, but it's not a humorous movie. That's not how you. I don't mean that he's just a joke, but that's not who you cast.
I think either way you slice it, Incredible Hulk is better remembered.
Yeah,
if Mark Ruffalo's cast Incredible Hulk, or if Ed Norton stays on, either way, it's better.
Only because we'd be reminded of it. I mean, people forget that movie even exists. I think people sometimes forget it's even in the MCU.
Yep.
And I don't know that it plays really like an MCU movie with all of it together when you go back and look at it, especially because it's the only one of the, 18, 19 movies we have now that's a pastiche to a TV show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because everyone else is things that you haven't really seen before.
Yeah, and
in mainstream pop culture.
And reinvented in some way.
Yeah.
Because they were just in love with that TV show.
Yeah.
And that's not a problem. I mean, I think it works for that movie, but that's a movie that works as a piece in a way. I mean, there's a reason that they've gotten away from it and they don't really go back and do a lot with it.
No,
I kind of understand that.
I mean, there's been a couple close calls. We know Abomination was going to be in Age of Ultron, and they couldn't get the scheduling right. I think Abomination was going to be in something else. They didn't get the scheduling right.
And at least we got the same actor for Thunderbolt Ross, and he's quite good.
Yep. But yeah,
I'm not going to say he's better than the guy in Ang Lee's Hulk. I think they're both just as good.
No. Ang Lee's Hulk is Sam.
I can't remember his name right now either. So
he's
not even
amazing.
Yeah,
he's so
great.
Perfect. William Hurt is I've always thought as like low rent Liam Neeson. So much so that I thought Liam Neeson was in Lost in Space. I was like, that was a weird thing to follow up Schindler's List with. It's William Hurt.
Yeah, and Liam Neeson would have done Lost in Space. Like, don't put that past him.
I don't know if he would have right after Schindler's List.
Well, maybe not right after Schindler's List, but okay.
But now,
later on, he's done all kinds of crazy stuff, right? Like, I still say he was the worst casting choice in A-Team. I just do not see it. What else? Ross Hitchcock, $5 super chat. Thank you. Cap, are you going to rewind Shark Boy and Lava Girl and the Spy Kids movies? Yeah, they count. Those are superhero movies.
Spy Kids?
Well, maybe not Spy Kids because it's a spy thing. I guess Shark Boy and Lava Girl is on the face of it a superhero movie, like right out the gate, right?
I mean, yes. There's an argument to be made that's not. I think it's close. I
just right away said, of course, I'm doing those because I think of them lumped together, but I guess Spy Kids wouldn't be.
I don't think Spy Kids are superhero movies.
Yeah.
Shark Boy and Lava Girl's weird because it's kids imagining. Like,
I've never seen
it. I think it's the boy comes up with Shark Boy and Lava Girl, and then they go to like a world of imagination where they are what he thought of, or I think they just no, he doesn't become them. He goes to a world of imagination, and they're there. It's kind of not a superhero movie, but you could say that they're superheroes because he thinks of them that way. So you might have to do that. That's a weird case.
Okay, so these are two movies that you never thought you'd see anybody put together in the same conversation or paragraph. But hear me out. If I do Birdman on Superhero Rewind, I have to do that, right?
No, sure, absolutely.
Because I have every intention of eventually doing Birdman as a Superhero Rewind. Not because it's a superhero movie, but because it's talking about them.
Yeah, kind of like Unbreakable. Or
I mean, Unbreakable is a superhero movie.
Yeah.
Is the thing. Yeah. But, like, Birdman is about the superhero movies impacting the culture in some way. That's not the main thing it's about, but that's in there.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, if it's a thing where we're imagining superheroes and that gets our characters from point A to point B, I probably have to.
Yeah,
that's probably in there.
Yeah,
but as you guys have seen, I have in the past played really fast and loose with it. So if there's enough interest in a thing, I'm likely to do it anyway. I'll get in trouble saying that. I'm likely to do it anyway if I think it counts enough.
And you can't be too hard on it because it's co-written by his 7-year-old son.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Is it at least as good as Sky High?
No.
Is it anywhere in that?
No, Sky High is insanely good. It's probably closer to Zoom.
I've never seen Zoom.
I've never seen Zoom either, but I know.
Well, how do you say that? You don't even know what people have said. Everybody hates it.
Yeah.
I've got it back here. I think I have Shark Boy and Lava Girl back there too because I thought it was a superhero movie. I'm not sure though. I don't know if it's back there. It's been on my list for a long time.
But Zoom wasn't co-written by a 7-year-old, so it doesn't have an excuse.
So yeah, so we should be harder on that. Thanks for that question. And I think, are we caught up now? No, Thomas Edgehill, $5 super chat. Thank you. Hey, does the medallion with Jackie Chan count as a superhero?
The medallion with Jackie Chan does not count as superhero movie. Maybe the tuxedo, but not the medallion.
And you guys are, although I wish
also not Bulletproof Monk. Bulletproof Monk also doesn't count as a superhero movie.
I wish Jackie Chan. Okay, but is Jackie Chan technically a superhero in the Jackie Chan Adventures?
No, he's more like Indiana Jones. Do you consider Indiana Jones a superhero?
No.
Then no.
But I've never seen that show, so I didn't know.
No, he's basically.
I didn't know if he was fighting crime or not.
No, he's treasure hunting. He's there's like these relics, and he's trying to find them for the bad guys.
Thomas Edgehill is really smart here because he gets a few things in his fight. And you guys are awesome. Thank you. And what do you think about Matt Smith in Star Wars? He's apparently playing a really pivotal role in the new Star Wars movie.
I won't see him.
Because Eric's not going to see that movie. Yeah, I'm not excited about that movie. We've talked about that. I'm not going to say that I'm not going to see it, but I'm too curious. We had this conversation yesterday, me and Eric. I'm too curious to see Abrams come back after getting something else sandwiched in between that was clearly not anywhere he would have gone, and in my mind, really a really bizarre direction. So I'm kind of just too curious to see if he can make his movie not a train wreck, but also I'm not expecting it to be good. The more I watch Abrams things, the more I'm starting to see him as kind of hacky.
Oh, he's a hack.
Which is a horrible thing to say, but it's just what it's starting to look like to me the more I'm looking at his stuff. But anyway, so yeah, I mean, cool for Matt Smith,
and I'm not sure
that he gets a big
neither of us like the 11th Doctor either.
But I don't think Matt Smith's a bad actor. That's just a preference thing.
I've never seen him outside of that.
But I didn't see
Terminator, whatever, Genesis.
Wait, Matt Smith's in Genesis?
He's the
I just don't remember. I saw it one time.
He's the like central hub of Skynet, apparently.
I don't remember that, but
because he was supposed to be the villain for the second movie. I kept because I talked to a friend of mine after he saw it. I was like, so is Matt Smith? Like, is he any good? He's like, well, he's barely in it, but apparently next movie is going to be really important.
Yeah, I also don't like his performance. It's just not what I want from it. Doesn't make any sense at all. I think he's good at what he's doing.
I also, yeah, but here's the thing. I don't want that in Star Wars. It's like they're tripling down this awful humor.
If that's what they're doing.
That's what he's doing.
I don't want to make that assumption, though, that he's being typecast. I've not seen him in anything else. I don't know if that's what he always does. I just don't know. So, I'm just saying, that's why I didn't immediately leap to, well, I don't want to see Matt Smith's Doctor in Star Wars. I'm not assuming that's what they do.
I mean, it would be unfair to be like, David Tennant's going to play Purple, where they can make it really energetic and really, he's going to apologize a lot.
You know what? There is one thing those two characters have in common.
The Doctor.
Wow!
Yeah,
the one thing they have in common.
That's true.
He does do that.
That must just be a David Tennant thing.
It is, and it works. And it's so weird. The things we're off track now.
It's also a me thing now, and I don't know how I feel about that.
It's so weird. The things that he brings to every role when the roles are so totally different. You know.
Mm.
I mean, I guess a lot of actors have that, but with David Tennant especially, it's just really interesting the mannerisms and quirks and stuff that he does with both of those roles, but they're two completely different roles. Although the darkest he gets with the Doctor, you can start to see the tinge of Purple Man in it.
Yeah, that's fair. Time of Triumphant and all that.
Somebody just trolling us said, "Ha ha ha! You have glasses, nerds." Which might be my favorite comment of the evening.
Did they super chat that?
No, they did not.
Okay,
but I just saw it and thought I would share. Sorry guys, I got to get back up to all the rest of the super chats because there are a few more. $5 super chat from Mike. Just Mike. Thanks, Mike.
Hey, Mike.
Would you like to see some sort of adaptation of Craven's Last Hunt on the big screen? And do you think Marvel Studios can pull it off? We talked about this. Was it you and I on a Letters Pages, or was it a Captain Logan show? Because this did come up recently.
I don't think it was me.
Was it not?
I've never read Cravens Last Time, so
okay. I was talking to somebody about it.
Humorless, so I would think Marvel Cinematic can't do it.
Yeah, that's the thing that we kind of arrived to. A part of me wants to see them kind of attempt it, but it couldn't be obviously exactly what it was in the comics. I mean, that's a thing to do in a Marvel Netflix show.
Mm-hmm.
And if you had a more mature Spider-Man Marvel Netflix show, you could run the gamut and you could have jokier episodes, and then you could go to those really dark places, like a Buffy thing,
movie?
like a Whedon thing. Yes,
didn't Sony threaten like a Craven movie?
And I don't know if that's
isn't
still
that
on the
one of
table
their
or not.
700 characters?
I think it is. Yeah. Well, I think that's one that they're at least acting like they're about to start really moving on.
I really want Sony to just come out and be like 700 characters, 700 movies.
Could you imagine that? Craven's Last Hunt without Spider-Man, because that's the story people know from Craven. Wouldn't it be nuts if that's what they did?
That would be nuts. It's Venom, right?
Of course, he can't.
He takes the Venom symbiote,
and we franchise out. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. He'd just be Venom. We franchise out everything, so we're not gonna kill him in his first movie.
I mean, we might. Oh, I guess if it's his movie, you're right.
I'm just saying we franchise out everything. We're not gonna kill him in his first movie.
Yeah. God, can you imagine? Can you imagine people going to the movie theater?
Maybe instead of Venom, it's Morbius, because they're gonna make a Morbius movie.
Can you imagine him going to the movie theater? Yeah, but what is he gonna do? Like dress up in the Morbius like thing? You know, talk about with the thing.
Yeah, you're right. At least the symbiote gives you a costume. Yeah, that's a good point.
Okay, I want this to happen.
Oh, when you went to that because it's black costume in Cravens last time. Yeah.
I want them to make this movie. I want all these people to take their kids to go see the Craven movie, and I want Craven to blow his brains out at the end of the movie.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Do we know what Venoms are or not yet?
No, we still don't know. They're still back and forth on it. No, they don't. They clearly don't. Yep, they're really back and forth on it. I would bet you everything we earned with Super Chats tonight that movie's rated PG-13.
I agree.
Don't you think?
Yep.
I mean, that is not going to be rated. If it was, they would have done it already. They would have sinned boldly on it. They would have already done it.
Yeah.
Is what I think.
Yeah.
No, my response to that last time was Sony should make it an animated movie.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
And I wish we would do stuff like that. And it wouldn't have to be on the big screen. Just start doing direct-to-video movies and do darker stuff. Yeah. Not everything has to be dark. I'm just saying if you wanted to do that, that would be the place to do it.
Yeah.
And it would do at least as well as the bigger DC things are. I don't know if it would sell like Dark Knight Returns did, but it could get close.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
You would need a track record. I don't think you'd lead with it. I think you'd want to make one or two things before you did that. But
yeah.
And like I was going to say, it wouldn't have to be a continuity, but then if you have to reset continuity all the time, we would have some of the same problems we have with some of the DC movies.
Yeah.
Jennifer Patron, $5 super chat. Thanks, buddy. Actual question. I've become a bit of a whiskey nerd recently. Is there any chance to see the Star Trek or Metallica whiskey on Snackvolution? Yeah, we'll look into it.
We've done the Star Trek whiskey, haven't we? Mm-mm. Didn't Vince bring Star Trek whiskey one time?
I did. Did he?
I thought Vince brought Star Trek whiskey once.
I don't think so. He brought me...
No, they were beers.
The Vulcan IPAs.
Yeah.
Which I don't like IPAs, but I liked it. And not just because they have Vulcan stuff on it. It was actually really tasty. But yeah, I heard about the Star Trek whiskey. I've not gotten it yet. And I haven't seen it anywhere. Like, I don't order this stuff online. I just, I'll go into a whiskey store, into a liquor store. But I haven't seen one.
Look at the one up the street that had the Hellboy whiskey.
Yeah.
They might have it.
Yeah, that's a pretty big place.
Yeah.
And we did the Hellboy stuff on camera. We liked it a lot.
Yeah.
I like cinnamon whiskey a lot. So I'm not a big whiskey drinker, but I like the cinnamon stuff.
Whiskey is my drink of choice.
But I'll try anything once.
Yeah.
I'm silly. I have that, Eric will tell you, I have that little kid thing where if we're in a store and I see something with a bat symbol on it, no matter what it is, I have to walk over and look at it. So if it says Star Trek or Metallica on it, I'll probably try it. Isn't that sad? Isn't that really sad? But if it has a really cool bottle, I'll buy it to keep it.
Yeah. And that was a disappointing about the Hellboy one. It was just a sticker.
Yeah, and I thought it was going to be the right hand to do them.
I thought I saw somewhere that it was, and then maybe that was like an exclusive version of that.
Guys, speaking of exclusive, we've got 10 minutes for the show left, and we have exclusively done Super Chats.
Can we cut off Super Chats at some point? Is there a way to do that?
Well... I mean, A, no, and B, I mean, it's so nice of people to help us out. Like,
no, what I mean is,
yeah,
we have 10 minutes left. What if they keep coming?
That has happened before, but it's not like like forever. Like, yeah, people can keep us talking for a little bit. At some point I will cut that off. Or I'm like, okay, guys, like, please don't send anymore because we've got to get going. Oh, I thought you meant like
I'm not denying money.
I thought you meant like no, cut it off now so we can do other stuff.
No, that's all.
Well, but that's not fair because folks want to see their stuff read.
Absolutely.
Again, we can't thank folks enough for doing
Absolutely.
it. Magpie 299 super chat says, "Oh, you didn't have to give me a super chat for this, buddy. You could have told me about it later, but thanks. I can send you season 3 of the Sequest Australia release. Oh yeah, because that was released overseas.
You have a regionless DVD player.
On the computer.
Okay.
I could cast it.
Okay.
I could Chromecast it on the TV.
Sequest month is happening.
Yeah. Tell your friends. Hashtag Sequest month. No. Not necessarily, but probably something with Sequest. I just don't know if it'll be a month. I don't know if I'll do something with Sequest. It keeps coming up. It's become almost a Geekvolution meme now. So yeah, that will probably happen. Thanks, Magpie. If you want to do that, that's awesome of you. I have watched DVDs he sent me before with the
oh, that's right.
That's how we did Tomorrow When the War
yeah.
Began. Yeah, we did that on a Region 2 DVD player on the computer. So or region list, you just change it. Here's another one. Mr. Roboto, $5 super chat. Would an MCU Defenders movie work to bring in She-Hulk into the MCU in the Hulk spot?
Oh, so you're talking about the original Defenders, which is Doctor Strange, Silver Surfer, Hulk and Namor.
Now that they have the rights to everybody except for maybe Namor.
Yeah, except for Namor.
But
and who cares?
I feel like I speak for everyone in this room when I say who cares about Namor. But yeah, sure. I mean, I think it would be weird branding to call it that, and I don't think they would do that.
They wouldn't call it Defenders.
No, and because of that, I doubt if they would even make it like they would even put those exact characters together.
But I could see a Doctor Strange sequel having like Hulk and
yeah.
I mean, Silver Surfer and Namor. Maybe not, but
no. But it would be cool to see Doctor Strange play on the cosmic stage, and if they eventually decide to start getting away from Guardians after the James Gunn fiasco, I could see them maybe putting Doctor Strange with one or two Guardians characters or other cosmic things. And, you know, I would love to get to a place where we do a Guardians-like thing or even a thing called Guardians of the Galaxy that's maybe not like comedy up front. And I could also, and like, I don't mind the comedy up front thing. I mean, obviously, I love that first movie, but I feel like you could, because Gunn, when he was writing the third movie, said that was going to be the last one with that cast. And after that, they were going to change the cast around. That would be the place to do it. That would be the place to put Doctor Strange in space.
Yeah.
And I would say, or to put one of those characters on Earth, right? Like, you know, you could do a Guardians movie that took place partly on Earth and then you know, was also a space thing. I don't know.
Yeah, Bendis did that Grounded arc.
I don't know if that's a good idea. I mean, we all complained when Thor did it, but that was the first movie. You know what I mean?
And then the second movie.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just saying, I think you could do a transition thing where it gets to a somewhat more serious place. And then characters like that wouldn't have to be squeezed into a comedy every time. And the Guardians themselves were handled, I think, so well in the, you know, somewhat super serious Infinity War.
Yeah.
With all the comedy that was in that movie. But anyway, so I don't know if that has to be a Guardians thing, but I wouldn't call it Defenders.
No, yeah.
I wouldn't call it Defenders. Somebody's saying I'm ignoring something. Guys, I'm just not able to see every comment right now. And this is why it's nice to have a moderator. So yeah, sorry I didn't have Danny tonight, but we just had to start kind of late. And there's just a lot of super chats. I'm having to scroll up again. Okay, I'm caught up now. If there is a super chat that I missed, folks, let me know about it in the regular comments. Don't feel like you have to put in a super chat for that, and I'll scroll down and look for it. So if I see a big block of you missed a super chat, just let me know. I think I've got them all. Magpie sends another super chat, $2.99, says check out The Crown. Matt Smith's in that. Oh yeah, that looked interesting.
I don't know what that is.
It's a TV show about, I think think royalty, but I don't know if it's a period thing or set now.
Okay.
I haven't looked into, like, all I've seen is a poster. I don't actually know exactly what it is, but yeah, he's in that. Just a whole bunch of, does this count as a super? This is getting hilarious. Does To Kill a Mockingbird count as a superhero movie? Does Full Metal Jacket count as a superhero movie?
I mean, the Punisher was in Nom.
Does John Tucker Must Die count as a superhero movie? That was from Duke. Hi, Duke.
No, but John Dies at the End might.
John Dies at the End, yeah. Does The Mighty Ducks count as a superhero movie?
I mean, the cartoon show does.
Sequest NATO confirmed.
That's not a bad way to take that.
That's pretty good. Yeah, because it's Trek NATO. Yeah. That's good. Astronaut, and you know, I don't think that title caught on. I don't think anybody thought that was clever, but I just kept using it.
I thought it was funny.
I like it, but I don't think I've ever gotten one comment about it where it's like, oh, that's really neat. Like, I don't know. I just thought it'd be funny to have a giant tornado with you know, spaceships and stuff in it. Astronaut misspelled, $1.99 super chat. He just says all the money. Because people were in the comments after we had that conversation about whether or not we should cut off the super chat. Some people were saying no more money, and some people were saying all the money. And so he just said all the money. There's another $5 super chat. I'll get to that in a second. Hold on, folks. Robert Wild, $2 super chat. Have you guys seen the new Death of Superman yet? Yeah, I mentioned that last week. We both watched it. We're going to review it this weekend on the Omnibus, so look forward to that next week. Your thoughts in 5 words or less, Eric?
It's a movie.
Yeah. It was fine. I do want to think that there is hope for the second one.
Yeah.
Like, it feels like a thing that they made so they could make what they really wanted to make. And what they really want to make, if that's true, is the thing I more want to see anyway.
Also,
so there's
how
a chance
dare you redesign Superboy's costume.
Well, they didn't redesign it. They just used New 52s.
His costume is perfect. His hair is perfect. He's got earrings, and they ruined it. He's got X-ray specs, and they ruined it.
What I wanted was what they never would have. They never would have made.
Which is just off the page.
I wanted to just be the 90s, because that's
with the awful Justice League.
But isn't that what people that like remember that material really?
I don't
want?
think anyone
Wouldn't
wants
that be
the
really
awful
funny?
Justice
Like, well, okay, you didn't have to have awful Justice League, but it would have been really fun if it was just the 90s.
It's called the awful Justice League.
But you could have made it a period piece, and it wouldn't have to be silly about it.
Yeah,
it just could have been set in the 90s.
Yeah,
you know, kind of like we're doing with X-Men.
Yeah.
And if that ever comes out, no, that will come out. Hold on, folks. It jumps around. John Early, $5 super chat. In retrospect, does Eric still like Punisher Warzone? We just talked about this the other day. Did we not?
No, I don't think so.
I thought you and I had a conversation about Punisher Warzone.
I don't think so.
Not on camera, but I thought it came up at one point.
But no, I still like Punisher. Go watch Romania. That movie's a ball. Like, it's so much fun.
I can't remember what the context was, but I swear to God, you and I were talking about that the other day for some reason, but it might have been somebody else, but I don't think so.
Were we talking? I want to say we had a conversation about the Punisher movie.
Duke says to read his dumb joke and he can call it a night, but I haven't seen your dumb joke because I'm having to
post it again. Just spam it.
I'm not seeing anybody mention that we missed any super chats, so I think we're gonna. Does YouTube count as a superhero movie?
A super villain movie, perhaps.
That's hilarious. Yeah. Okay, folks, we're gonna answer some other questions real briefly that were asked at the beginning of the show. Because I kind of feel bad not getting to any of those. And if anybody else wants to throw super chats out, just bear with us for a little bit. We're gonna do a few of these very quickly. So if any more super chats pop up, we will get to them, just not immediately. And now we're being called dorks by the same troll, just over and over again. It's hilarious. We're nerds. We're dorks. We have glasses.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought I was a geek, not a nerd. But I used to think it was about math. Is it just glasses? Is it just if you have glasses, you're a nerd? Is that what it is?
Well, yeah.
Madman, does the old joke of asking, does Blight count as a superhero movie? Count as a superhero movie? Okay. Well, that's just getting silly. It's either late or everybody is drunk. Daniel Davis, hey Cap. Are you ever going to get back to Bat Chat? I know you've been doing a lot, but it's been over a year since the last installment. The short answer to that is yes. I don't know exactly when, but Dan's News wants to come back. He had a long period where he wasn't able to do that with me. And I have a fail-safe in Danny Nixon because Danny turns out to be like an animated series expert. Like, he really knows his stuff. And it's his favorite thing, and he's obsessed with it. So he's definitely the guy.
I want to know his opinion on the Batman Adventures.
Yeah, I haven't talked to him about that a lot. So, but yeah, so the plan right now is for the three of us to do it when we can, and then one of those guys will be with me on the weeks the other ones can't. So we will start that back up as soon as I can. I don't know what exactly that's going to be yet, but hopefully this year we get back to it. And we'll shoot those like 3 or 4 at a time and try to get it knocked out. Hey, Eric. Oh wait. Sorry, I already read that one. Malik Myers wasn't able to make it tonight, but he sent me this question off the live show. Eric, what do you think of Daredevil season 1 and 2? Apart from some comments and Defenders, we've never heard your thoughts.
I think Daredevil season 1 is one of the best seasons of television I've ever watched. I feel the same as most people on season 2. Well, that's not.
I think people dislike it more than you do.
I don't like the third act. I have issues with just the general idea of like, well, what do we do with the second season? I don't know, Punisher. But I like it up until the ninjas show up. I think people really throw that season under the bus, especially as we get further and further away in time, and don't remember how good the first half of that season is.
I think it's comparable to the first season.
The courtroom,
or pretty close.
The courtroom with Frank Castle. The entire episode where they're on the roof that's taken from that Garth Ennis book.
See, I was going to say some of that's overwritten to me.
That's probably because it's Garth Ennis dialogue.
Okay, but some of that's a little overwritten to me.
But no, it's good. It's not as good as season 1. I will say, I mean, just for like wholeness, I think I'd probably like Luke Cage season 2 as the best season 2 thus far. But that's just because I think I don't know if Luke Cage season 2 ever hits the highs of Daredevil season 2, but it doesn't hit the lows either.
Yeah, Ponderer in the comments here says he thinks it holds up until the last 2 episodes.
That's fair.
Somebody wants to know, Ginger. Oh, I'm not gonna say that. It's a word I can't say on Geekvolution. Is Eric back on Twitter? It sure looks like it.
No.
Interesting.
What?
So is someone posing as Eric? Is that what's going on? I saw that comment a lot and I wanted to finally mention it. Somebody keeps saying that now they might be trolling. That looked like a trollish kind of name, so that guy might be just messing with us. But we should check and see if somebody's posing as you on Twitter.
Yeah, no, I'm not on Twitter.
If anybody else has noticed that, let us know. See if we can confirm this with 3 or 4 people. If there's a Eric poser on Twitter, I hope that's not going on. But yeah, let us know, folks. Okay. We should be out of time. Let's do a few more of these real fast if we can, though.
All right.
If you don't mind, Eric.
No.
Because we didn't get to any of these. But, I mean, it's a good problem to have. We sure appreciate it, guys. Cinegraphic, hey, Captain Logan, out of curiosity, would you ever let Jason watch Jim Carrey's The Mask? In fact, we almost watched The Mask yesterday. And I have, like, a 4-pack that has The Mask in it. And the disc is missing.
Oh,
so
weird.
we watched Bruce Almighty instead. But the answer to that is yes. Say again?
I think I have that same 4-pack.
Oh, we didn't even go look for it. That's funny. Blue Dragon 5, Cap and Eric, what's your view on the Happy Time Murders R-rated puppet by the Muppet creative team themselves? I don't know about this.
Yeah, it's that movie with Melissa McCarthy.
Oh, okay. I didn't know the Muppet people made that.
I didn't know either, but I also heard they're getting sued by Muppet people.
How's that work?
Or something. I don't know.
Oh, so it's not like Muppet Studios making it.
Yeah, I don't know. I immediately don't care because Melissa McCarthy's in it. The second you cast Melissa McCarthy, you're telling me you don't have my comedic sensibilities, and I'm not interested.
Somebody says fake Eric's got an attitude.
Oh?
Bob the Hun, there is an Eric poser on Twitter.
Great.
Oh, man. I'm sorry, buddy. That sucks. I don't really know how we can make that stop. Like if there's any way to, I guess, I mean, we can go look at it and see how bad it is, but you know, maybe you can contact Twitter and try to get them to remove that guy.
Maybe.
Wow. Okay. Well, drama here on Geekvolution this evening. Lone Wolf Jedi of Gotham. What are some science fiction ideas you'd like to see explored more deeply on film and TV that have only vaguely been touched upon thus far? If you can't think of any, no worries.
I'm sorry, repeat the question.
So, like science fiction ideas that we haven't done a lot of or haven't done a great job of doing deeply enough in TV shows.
In TV shows?
Film or TV.
I don't know.
Yeah, just immediately nothing's leaping to my brain. I mean, like, science fiction's been really in the last decade. We've and obviously before that too, but like we've really run the gamut with science fiction.
Between Star Trek, Outer Limits, what haven't we done?
Yeah, no, that's true. I'm sure something will come to me a little bit later. I think there are some things that we do so often I'm a little numb to them now, like exploring humanity through robotics and stuff like that, which can still be really interesting. It's just I've seen it so much, it's hard not to immediately like say been there, done that without actually giving it its due, right? Time travel is much the same way. Genetic engineering is like that, but and we've been doing a lot of social media lately, like a lot of the stuff that you would want to explore. I mean, the 3 shows you mentioned, and then now Black Mirror.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So yeah, nothing springs to mind, and that's not to say that like science fiction's dead and there's nothing left to talk about. It's just like as far as, you know, a major theme or something.
Yeah.
We need a better sequest. That's what we need. Grady Childs in a...
I don't know if there's ever been a great movie about alternate timelines. Like alternate reality, like hopping timelines kind of a thing. That's not like a time travel movie. Like I mean just like mirror universe kind of a thing. I don't know if there's ever been a great movie about
We do a lot of alternate histories.
That's true.
Like, is that what you're talking about?
No, I mean, like,
or
more
do you have to
multiverse-y,
start
I guess.
more multiversy?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know if the great, like
where's
multiverse movie
where's the
has been
movie
made.
crisis?
Yeah,
is what you're saying.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a superhero thing.
No, of course, but just that kind of idea. Yeah,
I think maybe the great multiverse science fiction film is yet to be made.
You know, that's a good point. I'm sitting here racking my brain. There's probably something I'm not thinking of, but if so, it's not major.
I mean, Sliders, but
right.
But that's not a movie.
It's not great.
Also, probably not great.
Sliders isn't
I've
great.
seen one episode of that.
I mean, I haven't seen that in a long time. Astronaut misspelled says he's the fake Eric, but he's probably
Can you stop that?
Yeah, please knock it off. Grady Childs, in a second solo Superman film, would you guys like to see more of his supporting cast from comics like Maggie Sawyer, Bibbo, Dan Turpin, John Henry Irons, and even Crypto the Superdog? I mean, maybe not Crypto the Superdog in DCEU. I don't know. That's maybe going a little bit too far. But yeah, I mean, more comic book stuff in general. But like, let's start with get Superman right. And then move on from there. But,
yeah, let's not jump to Crypto before we know what to do with Superman.
But yes, of course. John Early, $2 super chat.
Like a vicious killer dog, and then like the dog goes on like David. Well, I was gonna say David Letterman. Like Colbert, and doesn't an interview. He's like, I really like to play the character in the comics soon.
That is a good point. Good old gamer. Star Trek 09 is kind of a multiverse thing, but it doesn't totally know it. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
But that's not the central conceit of the film. It's a time travel movie.
I mean, it should be the central conceit of the movie.
But it's not.
I'm pretty sure we went to an alternate dimension, but it doesn't know it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, obviously, this is a thing that we've done a lot in Star Trek in disparate episodes.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, John wanted to know if either of us listen to Spotify. I do. I was just kind of trying to sell Spotify to Eric yesterday because I find it really useful. I've been paying for a subscription for years. That's how I listen to all my stuff. Okay, let's do a couple more from people we haven't heard from yet. Excuse me. Solar Dragon 007. What are your thoughts on the current state of the James Bond franchise with director Danny Boyle leaving Bond 25 over creative differences? I'm sure we'll talk about this on the Omnibus, but you can go ahead and give your initial thoughts.
I'm super worried. That's a huge bummer. I was really excited for Danny Boyle to do it, and I was excited that he brought on John Hodge, who's a writer that he works with, and that they threw away the Purvis and Wade script. Purvis and Wade, the two guys who've been writing James Bond since it's Not Die Another Day, the one before that. The World's Not Enough. The people that are clearly responsible for all of the bad stuff in all the James Bond movies, they threw that script away, and they were going to do this script, and then they said no. Apparently, they were going to do a modern Cold War movie and talk about how Russia's kind of bad guys again, and that's not what the studio wanted to make. So I'm bummed. It pushes the movie back even further, which I don't know how much further, but there has to be a question about whether Craig's going to stay on.
That's what I was
right?
going to ask you, is if you think there's a chance that if it's 2 or 3 years, he'll just bow out.
Yeah.
I mean, he's getting older. I don't know how much longer he wants to do it.
I mean, this is supposed to be his last one.
But that's what I mean, is I don't know how much longer he wants to wait around for that movie.
So yeah, I'm worried. I'll be interested to see who they pick next as a director, if they keep the John Hodge script, and if they continue to keep Purvis and Wade away from the franchise.
This is going to be, I think, our last question, Eric.
Okay.
Johnny St. Pierre, Eric, I'm 17 and love your old videos. I agree with you on a lot. Now that you're older, is there anything you said that you can no longer say you believe? For example, your videos on right and wrong.
I didn't remember making a video right and wrong.
I don't remember that one specifically either.
I can tell you that I am incredibly embarrassed by the majority of the content that is on my channel, and I don't agree with most of it. Or at the very least, not how I worded it or said it. And I was just a 17-year-old.
I think a lot of us would probably have that if we put our thoughts out there for everybody on every kind of thing back when we were teenagers.
I constantly think about deleting it. I've looked into, apparently you can hide it all, but I can't figure out how to do it. I don't want that on the internet anymore. I really don't. No, I'm very uncomfortable with a lot of that stuff.
And it's funny because I've been hearing you'll be uncomfortable by this. I've been hearing from a few people lately saying they still go back and watch your old videos quite a bit. and
good comments and stuff,
and saying that they wish you would make more. And we've been kicking around having Eric use that format again in some way, but that format just meaning Eric by himself talking into a microphone, not, I guess, necessarily all the same kinds of topics, you know, like, I mean, I don't know, obviously, I don't know if you went back and made your own videos like that, like, would you keep it strictly to, like, reviews and geeky stuff, or would you talk about politics and stuff like you used to? Or not politics, I guess you didn't really talk about, like, current events and stuff, but...
I probably not. I probably wouldn't talk about that stuff now. It was different. It was different when I was making videos.
I mean, I'm just curious. I'm going to put you on the spot.
But... Yeah, no, I don't want to deal with that. I really don't.
I mean, we talk about everything under the sun and more controversial stuff on After Dark.
That's true, but like when I'm by myself, like it's different. Like, I don't have a filter. I'm just talking. I'll say things, and you know, no, sure. I don't want to deal with that.
I hope you didn't mind me bringing it up. It's just people have been asking, and when I saw that, I was like, I mean, that's gonna. If anybody watches this to the end, a lot of people are gonna be glad to hear you talk about that. But yeah, folks, I think that's gonna be it for us tonight. There was another one. Yeah. Oh, you know what? I think you're right. I'm sorry.
You're right there.
Mr. Roboto, $2 super chat. Does Captain Archer history hold up? Captain Archer history. Do you mean? Like with the 09 movie, with the Abrams films, because we were just talking about that. Sometimes people leave super chats and they're kind of cryptic, and I have to like kind of guess at what exactly they're saying.
I mean, it's the only thing canon now in
I have to decipher them.
Timelines.
Yeah, and it mostly works as well as it can. It's so weird, but yeah, for the most part, Enterprise holds up okay for the stuff in other continuities. Because in my opinion, at least right now. The current Star Trek show is its own thing in a completely other continuity. I just don't see it being Prime. I don't see it. Yeah, and that's depressing because, of course, it already had huge problems with continuity and was hard to really reconcile with things that come after it and even some stuff that comes before it. But if that's what you mean, because you said history, if you're just talking about Captain Archer himself, yeah, he's not great. A lot of people trying to get us to stick around, but we're going to get going. We've got some things to do. Everybody, thanks always for watching. We sure appreciate it. Eric, thanks for joining me.
Yeah.
Doing a live show. It's been a long time since you've been on a live show.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate you doing it, and you guys are absolutely wonderful. Thanks everybody for all the super chats. We can't tell you how much we appreciate all the support and help. If you would like to support us regularly, you can go to Patreon, Geekvolution, excuse me, patreon.com/Geekvolution. $2 a month is all it takes to see Eric and I chatting about all kinds of random stuff twice a month, uncensored, and that's one of the big perks that we do there. Eric, I have been putting out new #1 show reviews for new comics, and I've got several more of those to upload in the near future, so look forward to those. And Eric and I are going to shoot a, like we said, Geekvolution After Dark this weekend. Geekvolution After Dark. What am I talking about? Geekvolution Omnibus. Whatever it is we're doing. We're doing some show. There's a show we're doing. It's long. There's a bunch of stuff in it. I don't know what it is. No, we're going to be reviewing all kinds of stuff. We're going to do the new Predator movie on that show. We're going to do, I mean, hopefully I remember anything about it, but we're going to talk about the latest Mission Impossible movie, because we never got around to that.
Yeah.
So anyway, lots of stuff there. We're going to talk about the Halloween franchise. I'm really looking forward to that. So anyway, in the meantime, you guys rock. We sure appreciate you. Thanks a lot for watching, and we will see you again very shortly with more videos on Geekvolution. I am Captain Logan.
I'm Eric.
See you, folks.